to Griffon Update Sports, a student-produced show all about Missouri Western athletics. We've got it all every week. Highlights, games, players, fans, and every sport all year long.
Welcome to Griffon Update Sports. I'm your host, Bailey Ketchum.
And I'm Jake Michael. On today's show, we're going to take a look at track and field and the conclusion of the men's basketball season.
We'll also have our Player of the Week and test your knowledge during our sports trivia segment.
And of course, we'll have our roundtable discussion about a hot sports topic.
This week, we're discussing college basketball and our favorite teams.
March Madness is so close, I can't wait. Speaking of basketball, Missouri Western men's basketball season has come to an end. And even though they didn't have the season they were hoping for, they continue to battle the whole way through. Reporter Morgan Doyle has more on the team.
The men's basketball team recently ended their season with a 6-21 record and a loss to Central Missouri in the first round of the MIAA tournament. Senior Seth Boniface reflected on his team's season.
I think it definitely could have gone better. I mean, we lost a lot of close games, I think 8 or 9 by 6 points or less. So anytime you lose that many close games, it's going to hurt. I mean, obviously we didn't lose as many games as we wanted to, or we were doing what we wanted to do. But I definitely became closer with all my teammates, my coaches, all that kind of stuff. So in that aspect, I enjoyed the season.
Although the Griffons didn't have the season they may have wanted, there were some highlights. The Griffons were able to clinch the final spot in the MIAA tournament with wins over Emporia and Northeastern State and faced number 5 Central Missouri in the first round, losing 75-59. Following their loss in the MIAA tournament, 5-year head coach Brett Weiberg has stepped down from his position. However, Seth Boniface was able to comment on what his team will need to work on before next season.
What I think they need to work on is just working on their weaknesses. I mean, each player has different weaknesses and different strengths. So I would say each player knows that, and I think doing that and then coming together as a team and just working on those other things, like do it in practice, do it in their off-season workouts, get stronger, get bigger. I know over the course of the season you lose a lot of strength, that kind of thing. So regaining that as quick as possible would be huge for them.
Other highlights included senior Cole Clearman scoring his 1,000th point this season and becoming Missouri Western's all-time leading three-point scorer, and junior Levon Hightower being named honorable mention All-MIAA. But the Griffons will be working to win more of those close games come next season.
A lot of failure due to little things. I mean, anytime the score is that close, it's going to be who got on the floor first, and who got to the loose ball, who came up with a turnover, who didn't turn the ball over. I mean, usually you can point to a couple plays in each game that were pretty impactful on the final score.
But if one thing is for sure, the Missouri Western men's basketball team will be working hard to prove themselves come next winter. For Griffon Update Sports, this is Morgan Doyle.
It's nice to see the players always staying positive. As Coach Weiberg steps down after the season, we wish him the best in his future endeavors. Up next, our current player of the week.
This week, it's baseball outfielder Levi Schreiner. Baseball has had a bumpy start to the season, but Schreiner continues to come through when needed. Reporter Dawson Whitman has more on Schreiner.
This week's Player of the Week is senior outfielder Levi Schreiner. Schreiner is currently hitting .263 on the year with a .368 slugging and .404 on-base percentage, and is very honored to have received Player of the Week.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it. I mean, I'm just doing everything that I can for the guys and just trying to get some wins out there, you know. Just trying to keep on building our resume for that postseason.
Schreiner may not have thought that he was worthy of Player of the Week, but his coach Buzz Verduzco thinks he definitely is deserving.
Oh, no question. I mean, Levi does a great job. He's got a good eye. He's a competitor. You know, he's played a solid right field for us, and so a lot of the things, and now he's going to be able to go on the mound. So all those things are real pluses for us. And, you know, it's a long season, and so anything that anybody like Levi attitude-wise can help us do to try to win is big time for us. So, and he's one of those type of guys.
Schreiner is coming off a 2017 season in which he won all MIAA honorable mention and batted .299 overall. Verduzco believes that Schreiner's second year is a good thing not only for him, but for the team as well.
Well, Levi, I mean, he's in his second year now, so he knows exactly what we want. He knows exactly what the program's about. He's a senior. He's a leader, you know, and so those things, anytime you have somebody come back who's had a taste of it, had good success, it's always a plus for the entire group. And so him being a solid left-handed hitter for us, and now, in fact, we've had some injuries, and we know Levi has been able to pitch in the past. He's even going to now jump on the mound for us, so he's going to be really valuable for us.
As the season continues, Schreiner believes that his personal goals are to do whatever he can to help the team win, and believes the team is going to make another deep playoff run.
I just kind of want to be out there for the guys and just keep doing whatever I can that it is that we can win, and just kind of support, whether it's defensive or offensive, because, you know, I'm never going to be able to hit every day, so as long as I'm out there with my glove and helping out the Griffs win. And for the team, I mean, definitely shooting for the stars. We want to first of all make it to the MIAA tournament. We're going to win it, make it back to the regional and win that, and then head on down to Cary or Grand Prairie, wherever they decide to have it this year. I mean, that's what we've been talking about all fall. We've been putting in the effort, we've been putting in the work, and I mean, it's about to be a full tilt boogie, and we're going to put it in the left lane and hammer down, baby.
With Griffon Update Sports, I'm Dawson Whitman.
Thanks, Dawson. The men played Southern Indiana last weekend and finished the 3-game series 2-1. They return home this weekend against Washburn.
You know, this semester's really flying by.
I know. I can't believe that men's and women's track and field are already finished with their indoor season.
Well, one person isn't finished yet.
Who?
Triple jumper Phil Thompson. He's the first ever Griffin to represent Missouri Western at the NCAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships.
You're right, and I was able to talk to him about it.
Half the season is in the books. Missouri Western's track and field indoor season is a wrap, and spring is in the air as the outdoor competitions begin March 24th. Recapping the MIAA Indoor Championships from February 23rd to the 25th, 7 Griffins among men and women finished top 10 in their respective competitions, with 2 provisional marks. One coming from Hannah Williams, who finished 4th in the 400. Griffins broke 11 school records over the weekend as well. The only athlete who will be competing in the upcoming NCAA Division II Championships is Phil Thompson. Thompson finished 5th in the men's triple jump with a 46.5 triple jump. Thompson feels very privileged to be competing and representing the school.
I think it always means a lot because I feel like it's not easy to make it to the nationals in D2. I think it's nice because I already been there. Not I haven't been in a track, but I've been there for conference and stuff, but I already been in that type of atmosphere before, so I think it'll be better than last time. And I always told myself that wherever I was, I'll be better than last year. So yeah, I think I give credit to my coaches.
Even though Thompson is making history for the program, this is not his first rodeo, as he competed in the NCAA Division II Championships, finishing 12th in the triple jump competition as part of the St. Joseph College's track and field team before transferring to Western. Thompson's hard work and dedication at practice is what sets him up for success as the second half of the season approaches. For a first-year program like Missouri Western's, Thompson's leadership qualities rub off on teammates, and the guidance of his teammates rubs off on him and make them leaders to him as well.
I just want to be a positive role model to them since I'm a senior and most of them are freshmen. So I think I just want to look good for them, I guess.
Competitions for the NCAA Championships begin March 9th through the 10th in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Reporting for Griffon Update Sports, I'm Jake Michael.
I can't wait to see how he does. The championships are this Friday in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
One of the things we do here at Griffon Update Sports is to make sure we give the students on campus a voice and see how much they know. Check out our sports trivia segment, Do You Know Your Sports, with Bailey Ketchum.
Okay, we are here talking about the past Winter Olympics. Paul, what is alpine skiing?
Alpine skiing is basically a concept of downhill skiing.
Correct. Okay, Taylor, who is Lindsey Vonn?
She is a USA alpine skier.
Okay, Kyle, where were the Winter Olympics?
Pyeongchang, South Korea.
What is the Olympic sport skeleton?
When you have one person basically sliding head first down the track on a very small sled.
Correct. What are the 7 Winter Olympic sports that are played on ice?
Let's see, we got hockey, we got skeleton, luge, bobsled, figure skating, curling, and what's the last one? Can I have a hint on the last one?
Did you say speed skating?
Speed skating, there we go.
You got him. What is the Olympic sport, the luge?
That's when you ski down ice on a sled feet first.
Correct. What is alpine skiing?
Downhill skiing.
You're right. How would you describe curling?
So curling, it's like set up in like one of the ice arenas, and pretty much what they do is they have like I think they call them like the throw or whatever, and they like run and then they slide a puck, and then you got like two guys that just like sweep, so like they need to come clean my kitchen. But they're just like sweeping it, and they like try to knock the other team's puck out, and like this year the U.S. men's team were like a huge upset because it's just like a bunch of dads with day jobs that just like come out and then they won gold. So like, go Hamilton.
Go USA.
I'm really sad the Olympics are already over.
Yeah, me too. I hope you watched and know your Olympics because you're going to need it when we return after this break with more sports trivia.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to our sports trivia segment. Today, two-time champion Dawson Whitman and my co-host Jake Michael will be competing against each other in sports trivia. The winner, as usual, will be on the show next week. Let's begin. Today we're continuing Olympic trivia. Where were the Winter Olympics?
Pyeongchang, South Korea.
Correct. What country led in medals?
Norway.
Correct. How many medals did the USA have?
23.
Correct. Who won the first USA gold medal?
Was it Red Gerard?
You're right. What sport does Shaun White compete in? Jake.
Snowboarding.
Correct. Who is Matt Hamilton?
He was a part of the U.S. gold medal curling team.
Correct. Who is Nathan Chen and what sport did he compete in?
Was it figure skating? And he's a figure skater for, I want to say Korea. Is it USA?
You're right. All right, true or false? NHL players were competing in the Winter Olympics.
Is this true?
False.
It's false. What medal number did Shaun White pick up?
His third, USA is 100th.
Correct. Who is Lindsey Vonn?
She's a downhill skier.
Correct. What is one of the countries that made their first Winter Olympics appearance this year?
Ecuador.
Correct. How many countries competed in the Winter Olympics?
I could not tell you. I have no idea.
Probably can't.
Did I stump you guys?
Yeah.
You got that on that one.
It was 92.
Man.
All right, Dawson. Once again, you have won. We'll be right back with our sports roundtable after this.
At Missouri Western, it's on us.
It's on us, all of us, to take responsibility and stop sexual assault.
To create a campus environment where everyone is safe and feels safe.
To realize that ending sexual assault is not an individual endeavor,
but a collective effort.
To understand that it affects not only students, but faculty and staff members alike.
At Missouri Western, we take action.
It's on us to look out for each other and not look the other way.
We step up and say something.
We support survivors. We are going to be a part of the solution and not the problem.
It's on us to intervene and take responsibility.
So take action because we can and will make a difference.
At Missouri Western,
it's on us
to put an end to sexual assault.
Begin by taking the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. Jake and I are here along with Griffon News sports editor Derek Zimmerman-Geyer to talk about college basketball. March Madness is right around the corner. Jake, what teams are you looking at to get in?
Well, the one team I'm really interested in is Kentucky. Every year they just reload with talent, freshman talent. It's proven to work at times, and other times it's just become just destructive. But they're really interesting. It's been a really rough regular season. I don't think it really matters to them. It doesn't matter to Calipari. A lot of mock brackets have them as a 5 or 6 seed. So I mean that's a fair position to be in. You'll face either a 11 or 12 seed, and then you can move a little ways, maybe to the Sweet 16, and then maybe further than that. But if you look back to 2014, when Kentucky made it all the way to the national championship and lost to UConn, they were an 8 seed. And they even took down the undefeated Wichita State Shockers that year, which was an amazing game, by the way. I remember watching that. But that really says something about how, you got to get good at the right time. And that's the main thing about this tournament is that, and I'm glad that we get to watch a conference tournament before they play in the real big dance, because then you really find out how much better they've gotten. Another team I love is obviously Kansas. I love my Jayhawks, man. And, even though they've lost 7 games this year, a lot of brackets have them as a 1 seed, which is actually pretty surprising. But that tells you that they've lost to quality teams. Yeah, maybe Washington wasn't a great loss, but no loss is a good loss, really. But that was a bad one. They have better depth than they did last year. That was a huge question mark going into this year. They lost Frank Mason, but they're carried by Devontae Graham, and actually they're really carried by veterans. Their workload isn't carried by freshmen. So I think that's going to take them a long way. But the only question mark I have is, are they going to live and die by the three-pointer? Because they've had games where they just shoot lights out from 3, and there's other games where they just shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, the teams I'm looking forward to make the tournament are pretty much already in the tournament because I cheer for winners. And this includes teams like KU, Villanova, and Duke. And, KU last 2 years made the Elite 8. And I just feel like they're due for a national championship sooner or later. Villanova, Duke, they always make a good run in the tournament, seems like. But one of my more wild card teams I'm picking to make a run in the tournament is Texas Tech. They've had a little up and down season. They beat Kansas, so there's a big win for them right there. But I feel like with the Wild West style that the Big 12 Conference plays like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of wild type games coming from Texas Tech or Kansas.
Yeah. I'm going to start with my Tar Heels, the defending champs. I think that I'm hoping, don't give me that face. I'm hoping that they're going to go far in the tournament. I believe in them. Joel Berry is leading them in the right direction right now. Obviously, they just had a not so good loss to the rivals, Duke, but Marvin Bagley went off on that game, so what do you expect? I think they should be a number 1. They're probably going to be like a number 2. But another school that I'm excited to watch, I'm a big fan of the Big Ten schools. So the Big Ten tournament champs, Michigan, I think they're peaking at a really good time, and they have a really good defense and a really fluid offense. But they were in the same position last year, and they had all the right things, but they only made it to the Sweet 16. So I really hope that they get over that bump this year. But I'm not really that excited to watch Kansas. I don't know. I don't think they deserve a number 1 seed. I would rather see North Carolina get that seed. But also Villanova, they are a very high caliber team. But when they lose to teams like the Creighton Blue Jays, being a Nebraska girl, love the Creighton Blue Jays. And then they almost got upset by Seton Hall. But, I still think that they will be a top contender, but I don't have them going quite as far.
No, I actually like Carolina too. Every year, that's a team that I always feel is like really safe. So if you're filling out a bracket and you think, okay, well, what's my team that's going to come out on top? Carolina's always a safe pick. They don't ever get bounced in the first round. Roy Williams has always got them prepared, no matter who they play. A 1 seed is fair. I think they're going to have a chance to get a 1 seed, which is going to make their path a lot easier. I just love this tournament. Like in high school, I used to skip the first 2 days of the tournament, and I would just watch because it's just basketball all day. So I just absolutely love it. I actually like winners too, Gary. That's why I'm cheering for Kansas.
Okay. Well, I think one of my favorites I'm looking at is Villanova. And, Villanova 2 years ago won the national championship against North Carolina, I believe.
Okay, whatever.
And, well, this year they've beaten 4 ranked teams, 4-0 against ranked teams. Haven't lost one against any ranked teams. So, we're not really looking to lose against any ranked teams, any teams really in the tournament. So I think they're going to have a good run there. And, they have potential player of the year, Jalen Brunson, along with a good offense. That's just a recipe for success right there.
You touched a little bit on Duke. Even though I'm not a huge Duke fan, I really think that they have a lot of talent this year with Marvin Bagley and Grayson Allen. I think that they're going to give a lot of people a lot of run for their money. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Actually, to actually go back on the point about Villanova, Jalen Brunson, actually a very underrated, under the radar first-team All-American. See, I didn't even think about that. That's a guy who doesn't get a lot of press, but he obviously earned his spot on that team. No, but it should be interesting. I think the one team I think that's really interesting is Arizona. That's a team that's loaded with talent, and they have a veteran coach. But and there's a lot of rumors swirling about what may happen in Arizona and all that stuff. But there was a game that Sean Miller came back and coached, and he was just applauded, and just everybody stood because they have his back. They knew that he's a good guy with a clean slate. I think DeAndre Ayton's a really good talent. I think he's probably the best pro prospect in college basketball right now. And then you add Alonzo Trier, just all sorts of talent, man. And they had a pretty good run last year, but I think they really upgraded, and I think that they're gonna take it all the way.
Well, Duke, of course they're gonna make a run. If they don't make a run, it's gonna be an atrocity. If they don't. I mean, how can they not? With the story program they have, and continuous year after year, if they don't, like I said.
And since we are in Missouri, what do you guys think about Missouri? You think Michael Porter will come back, and if he doesn't come back, do you think they have a chance?
My goodness, I hear week to week. I'm like, he's gonna come back this game, and then he doesn't come back, and then he comes back. No, he's gonna come back the next game. No, I don't know what the deal is with his injury and what his status is. I really hope he does come back because, him being a pro prospect, I want to see him play on the big stage because that's how you're going to find out who really plays. That's how guys' draft stock really rises. And I know it's not really fair to talk about the NBA draft right now because that's not really what it's about. It's about guys going out there and competing, a lot of them for their college careers. Like, this is it, And so to add him, I mean, Mizzou's actually kind of overachieved this year, but you add Michael Porter into the mix, they go from here to here.
I think if he comes back and he's playing in the tournament, I think that'd be a huge story. And it really depends on him under the pressure, coming back from an injury, playing in the tournament, and team, a lot of people are looking up to him to lead that team in the tournament, and that could be a lot of pressure. It can go one way or another way.
Yeah, I agree. If he comes back, I think they'll have a chance, but if not, I don't think they'll last very long. Saying Final Four, who would you guys want to be your guys' Final Four?
Man, so I got to go with Kansas.
Of course.
I got to go with Arizona for all the reasons that I just talked about. I think Virginia is the overall number one seed, and so anybody that gets that overall number one seed tends to go really far. I don't like the pace they play. I've never really been a huge fan of the way they play basketball, but you can't deny the fact that they've won quality games, and they earned that overall number one seed. And then my last one could go really anywhere. I think maybe Kentucky. It just depends on what teams or what region. But Kentucky, I just feel like has so much talent. And I don't really like to add dark horses in there because I like to make my safe picks and just pick, either like blue bloods or teams that I know are really quality teams.
That's no fun.
I know it's no fun, but I haven't seen the bracket yet.
My Final Four, all winners, like I said. Nova, I think, actually I got one in there, kind of a dark horse, but not really. Xavier, I think they'll make a run. Duke and Kansas.
All right. I agree with you on Virginia. I think that they're really far up there. They have a really good defense and offense. So I would go Virginia and Michigan. Obviously, I'm going to put my Tar Heels in there. And then I also think Purdue. They're a really good team, and I think Carson Edwards will lead them really well and make them a top contender.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta add another at least Big 12 team in there because the Big 12 really represents in the NCAA tournament. They always get a lot of teams in. I'm interested in watching Trae Young in the tournament, although I don't want to watch him take down Kansas like he did this year. If it means taking down Kansas along the way, I like seeing Oklahoma make a run.
If Oklahoma gets a run like that and Trae Young goes off, you can count on ESPN or whatever TV channel that's on. They're gonna have a stat line up the entire game.
Oh my goodness!
The entire game, Trae Young.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens when the brackets come out this weekend. After this break, we'll take a look at more results from our teams and this week's upcoming sporting events. back. Before we end the show, we want to give you more updates about what's going on with all Missouri Western sports.
Women's basketball played in the conference tournament semifinals against Lindenwood last Saturday, but were unable to pull away with a win, ending their season. Women's tennis was in tropical Orlando and won against Minnesota State and St. Cloud State, but lost against Saginaw Valley.
For the upcoming schedule, softball heads to Lindenwood on Friday and Lincoln University on Saturday, and women's tennis faces Washburn this Saturday in Topeka, Kansas.
That's all we have for you today. For more information on Griffon Athletics, check out gogriffons.com. Also, check out Bailey's Sports Report on Griffon Update next week.
We've got you covered every week. From all of us here at Griffon Update Sports, thank you for watching.